The woman expressed feeling unwell and requested an injection from the man. This man, being kind-hearted, directly gave her the shot. The woman crushed grapes in pain, spilling juice everywhere. After the injection, the woman felt revitalized and easily carried home a heavy bag of rice. The juice on her back caught the attention of the village men, particularly the silly big guy who kept asking about it. Xian Shua is a woman. She is recognized as the village's beautiful daughter-in-law after marrying Old Jean. Over the past 2 years, Old Jean has often been on business trips lasting at least 3 months, taking all the money and leaving the house messy. This made Xian Shua suspect that Old Jean was either gambling or had another family outside. Old Jean always ignored Xian Shua's scolding. He would stay at home for a maximum of 2 days before leaving again. He would always tell villagers he was going to pick mulberry leaves. Xian Shua was helpless to stop Old Jean. Sad as she was, life still had to go on. Aunt Grey Duck told Xian Shua that a man from a nearby village wanted him to wash his hair for a bag of rice. In those times of hunger, Xian Shua agreed for the sake of survival. Xian Shua reached the vineyard as planned and quickly returned with a large bag of rice. Aunt Grey Duck took a large commission as a middleman. Xian Shua was unconcerned. The presence of men in Aunt Grey Duck's house would ensure the commission returned. Xian Shua assisted his neighbor in raising silkworms, earning a 20% commission. The village chief heard about Xian Shua's hair washing skills. While the villagers rushed home during a sudden heavy rain to grab their clothes, the village chief approached Xian Shua with a valuable silver ring, seeking VIP treatment. Xian Shua verbally disagreed, but his body turned towards him. In the village tea house, gossip flourished during the rain, mainly focusing on the prominent figure, Xian Shua. During this time, the village included many men, along with the elderly, weak, sick, and disabled. De Zhuang and Achi are the only ones not served by Xian Shua. De Zhuang is foolishly poking at Xian Shua's window every day, causing chaos each time. Achi is a henpecked husband who desires but lacks courage. While washing clothes, the village women noticed Xian Shua's ring. Chi Po wittily noted that while some spend years choosing a ring, others decide in just 30 seconds. She boasted about how great her own ring was. Xian Shua ignored them and walked away with the clothes. Back inside, he could only vent to the air. He had no choice without support at home. Xian Shua needed to quickly pick mulberry leaves because the neighbors were gone. Xian Shua encountered a Chi while passing by a small creek. Xian Shua intentionally knocked a Chi into the water. Xian Shua was soaked, with his graceful figure partially seen. Seeing a Chi's wide-eyed stare, Xian Shua acted as if a Chi didn't exist and started hanging up his wet clothes, making a Chi feel anxious and hoping for help. Xian Shua desired only the ring from Chi Po's hand, not food. Driven by desire, Achi immediately agreed to meet that night at the village water mill. Achi was fixated on the ring on his wife's hand and knew he needed a clever approach rather than force. So Achi employed a fatigue tactic, getting the kids to sleep as early as possible before dark. He administered Chi Po injections, increasing the number if they didn't work. When he grew tired, he would snack for energy until Chi Po was deeply asleep. Then Achi took the ring. Achi placed the ring on Xian Shua at the mill, marking him as the supreme VIP for the night. Chi Po realized something was off the next morning. Her ring was missing. It might have fallen during last night's injections. Just as she was puzzled, someone spotted her ring on Xian Shua's hand. Chi Po, filled with rage, decided alongside the village women to kill Achi. After defeating Achi, they blamed Xian Shua, believing it was all his fault for the situation. The men in the village wouldn't act like this, so everyone went to Xian Shua's house, beat him up, and smashed everything inside, even taking his ring. Xian Shua cried out for help in the village, but was met with silence, only shouting for his mother. Beneath the bright sun, Xian Shua felt a deep desolation. His mother was also a suffering woman, with 4 children to care for, while his father lay sick in bed, leaving the burden of the family on her shoulders, as the younger siblings cried from hunger. Xian Shua's childhood was marked by his younger siblings' cries. One sunny afternoon, he ventured to the riverbank all by himself to indulge in his daydreams and escape reality. To his surprise, he stumbled upon a tempting pile of sweet potatoes. Without a moment's hesitation, he eagerly grabbed a few to take home, only to be caught red-handed by the furious owner. The owner reluctantly permitted him to take them, but only if he helped wash his hair in the process. For the sake of his family's survival and well-being, he hesitantly agreed to the deal. The middle-aged man disagreed, noting that Xian Shua's hair washing skills are unique. The local gentry, being highly respected, were given the decision. The gentry visited Xian Shua's home, lectured him, and insisted that he leave immediately. Xian Shua argued that it's not only his fault, but also the village men's, asserting that it takes 2 to tango. The village women also share blame, as they are the ones who sought me out and beat me. Xian Shua revealed his injuries on his knees, thighs, chest, and back as he spoke. Xian Shua closed the door and planned to use special methods on Xiang. Xiang began to speak up for him. Heroes often struggle with beautiful women, But ageless warrior Xiang knows how to handle the situation. Xian Shua regained his confidence, and no one could expel him from the village. The neighbor's aunt was out of mulberry leaves again. The village's mulberry leaves were gone, but Dazhuang knew where to find more. One person must watch while the other steals. That night, Dazhuang and Xuanshua left, with Dazhuang secretly wanting to impress after gathering mulberry leaves. But they had barely started their work when the owner unexpectedly caught them. Dazhuang fled in fear, leaving Xuanshua to be caught. The owner asked the local celebrity for help washing his hair. The next morning, Xuanshua returned with mulberry leaves, and Dazhuang inquired about his return. He was harshly scolded, told that running from trouble doesn't make him a real man. Dazhuang wished to pick mulberry leaves that night, but Xuanshua refused. That night, Dazhuang brought fine silk to Xuanshua, but was slapped hard. Old Jean returned and Xuanshua voiced complaints about Dazhuang. Old Jean was aware of Xuanshua's treatment in the village but prioritized his survival. Drunk Dazhuang approached, teasing Xuanshua and being rude to Old Jean. Old Jean decided to confront Dazhuang to teach him a lesson. Dazhuang appears strong, but he can't compete with Old Jean. Lao Jean, skilled in martial arts from years of training, quickly knocked down Dazhuang during anti-Japanese activities. The next day, Lao Jean prepared to leave, but the Japanese overseeing the village were at the entrance. Lao Jean greeted him calmly, but the Japanese man pushed his bicycle and followed him. Xian Shua witnessed everything and truly wondered how he would live on. Mulberry Leaves concludes here. The film depicts events from the Japanese occupation of Korea in the 1920s. It portrays the tragic lives of people then. When survival is threatened, dignity is lost, and survival becomes the sole motivation. Alright, if you want to see more great movie commentaries, please follow me. Bye.